Hey, what's up, everybody? So, so many things that I want to talk about, so many videos that I want to make, so many topics that I think are so interesting and, have some really simple, not solutions, I don't like that word, but really simple explanations and methods, techniques to kind of overcome. As some of you might know, I train every day. I do different martial arts. The main one that I love the most is jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and it's helped me a lot in my life. And actually, I like to approach everything in my life um, according to like the different fields of interest and practice that I have. For example, what I learn in jiu-jitsu, I apply in my life. I apply jiu-jitsu very much so in things, and like jiu-jitsu is basically you have a problem, and then there's a technique to deal with the problem, um, and there's techniques for everything. And it requires work, repetitive work, because you condition your body, and the more you condition your body, the more easily your body will be able to handle the challenges and the difficulties or the problems. Yeah. And it's the same with our mind. Our mind is like our body. It can be conditioned. We can mold our mind to do anything we want. Anything. The problem for most people is that it takes some work. But, as I have said in so many of my videos, like, I consider myself and I don't see this negative in any way, but I consider myself quite a lazy person. And, I don't see there being a right or wrong in, if you want to live your life high paced, very active, waking up early, doing so many things all day, and, going to bed early. Yeah, I think that's awesome, but I don't see anything wrong with having a simpler, slow paced life. I don't believe that one is doing more than the other. I believe that they're both doing equally as much, just in different ways. Yeah, and you can, again, this is going into another topic. There's endless topics that we can all talk about, but just to wrap that quick example up, it's very similar to introverts and extroverted personalities. You will have someone who can sit and observe and be able to see so much in simple things. Like, for example, where I live here in Bali, like, the people aren't as active, don't have the high-paced life as like in the West. I was just talking to someone who was telling me that she's working from 9 till 11:30. Yeah, with the financial markets. Nothing wrong with that. It's just but to think that you're getting more than if you're one of the local people here who you should see what they do. They chill all day long, and they work, they mix their days, there's balance, yeah. Again, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but here they have time to do things that a lot of us in the West just never have time for, like, wouldn't even think of. Like, they create these beautiful offerings here. They're called offerings. You can Google them if you want, Balinese offerings. And they're just all made out of leaves and flowers. And it's their sort of, and they're doing this constantly in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, every day. And you'll see them littering their towns with them. They're all over the place. They're in front of doors. They're on roads. They're in front of shops. They're all over the place. These beautiful little offerings, and they're just sitting there, making these offerings. And it's so beautiful. It's so meditative. It's so immersing your time and putting yourself in harmony with nature more. Because look, we live in a world where I guess there's a lot of things going on, but there's two main things going on. There's the human buzz, the human community, and what the human buzz and hive is doing, which is crazy, crazy, just constant growth, competition, survival, capitalism, just constant growth, constant just, and that world depends on growth. If it runs out of resources or the ability to grow, it can collapse very quickly. Okay, so that requires that world depends on constant growth. Depends on it for its life, for its existence. Then you have nature, the planet we live on, which is going at a very different pace, going at a very different speed. And again, I don't think there's right or wrong to be living in either of those. I believe in balance, so having a balance between two worlds is very important because that's going to help us survive and be healthy, be happier. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic here. This video I wanted to address, kind of making this video for everyone out there who's watching, but I'm also kind of making it for my paid clients who are watching too, and you know who you are. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys something, everyone something, but like I said, geared to the paid clients as well more. I'm going to give you guys like a breakup survival handbook, and I'm just going to list through all the things because I do get some questions over and over that keep coming up. And I'm going to start with one of them. The one that keeps coming up a lot is, how do I stop thinking of my ex? Help, I can't stop thinking of my ex. And let's dive into this. So the first thing I want to talk about is why are we having this problem? Okay? Two reasons come to mind. First reason is, anything you do more and more becomes more and more of a habit. And if you keep doing something over and over and over and over and over and over again, it will become a stronger habit and a more difficult habit to break. For example, if you're smoking every day, or if you are speaking English every day, if you are doing push-ups every day, if you're eating certain foods every day, if you're doing certain activities every day, if you're spending your time with certain people every day, anything that you do, anything, you name it, that you do repetitively can and will become a habit. And that includes the types of thoughts that you are having. Okay, so if you're thinking of your ex, the more you think of your ex, or specifically if you're thinking negative thoughts related to your ex, like, I will not be as happy with her, I was happier with him, my life was better when I was with my ex, those are not helpful thoughts. Whether they're true or not is not important. What's important is, do these thoughts help you now? Okay, most of these thoughts aren't true anyway, but we believe they are, okay? But focus on what helps you. So if you're thinking these negative thoughts repetitively, my ex never loved me, that my ex doesn't love me, my ex doesn't care about me, blah, 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 whatever it is. This is what journaling's for, by the way, to figure out what are the negative thoughts you're thinking, okay? I'll come to that in a bit. So every time you have those thoughts, you are reinforcing them, you're making it a habit, and you're basically taking this beautiful thing that is called our brain, this complex tool It's like a Swiss Army knife tool. Beyond that, it's like a computer, yeah? And you're basically molding it. You're molding it every time you have those thoughts, and you're creating a habit of those thoughts. So when you wake up in the morning and your mind is clear and you have a blank canvas, there's two ways your thinking can go from that empty place, and it can be towards positive thoughts, or it can be towards thoughts that make you feel like crap. And depending on how you've geared your mind, what habit your mind has been developed towards, that's how the negative thoughts are going to come, or the positive thoughts are going to come. So if I wake up first thing in the morning and my thoughts are immediately going to be going on to things that hurt me and hold me down, thinking of my ex or whatever, that's an indication that my mind has been set up and configured and conditioned to think of those thoughts. Okay, so that's part one of why we can't stop thinking of our ex, because we've basically conditioned our mind to think of our ex because we're doing it every day. Yeah? But there's another part too. There's a part two of why we think, why have we gotten into that spiral of overthinking about our ex? That's another good question. Why have we come into this path? And it's basically simple, because our mind is trying to process a very painful experience, and in our mind's perspective, pain, especially on that magnitude, can equate to a threat of our life. So your mind will be like, fuck, that really was painful. What just happened? Right, I gotta analyze this. So then your mind starts to analyze. And there's nothing wrong with this. And I would argue that you have to allow this to happen. You have to allow your mind to process what has happened, because what's going to happen is your mind is going to process every little detail, as I'm sure many of you know. Every little detail of your relationship, of the breakup. Not just that, but it's going to process every detail of future scenarios. Your mind is just incredibly powerful, amazing tool, which is why if you actually gear it towards constructive, positive things that serve you in your life, you'll be unstoppable. People like Steve Jobs or whoever else, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the founder of SpaceX. If I'm correct, he owned PayPal, made his money through PayPal, and then sold it off. But he went through some serious life difficulties, divorce, breakup, and he was extremely depressed, lost a lot of his money. It's no surprise. Same thing with Steve Jobs, by the way. Went through incredible depression, and spent some years abroad, just getting away from things. And it's no surprise that these people wind up becoming so powerful and great, because they learn, yeah? And it's like all of us who have come here, who have not gone to the clubs, who have not gone to just jumping into rebound relationships, all the people that are questioning why have I suffered so much, what's going on, and want to know more, the chances are that if you're doing that, you're most likely going to fall into this path. And this path of realization that your mind can be molded and geared to do anything you desire. And these people aren't special. They are special in a way that they are able to identify what's important and then put some effort and some work. But it doesn't need that much. Like I said, I'm a lazy person, so I gear my self-improvement journey towards myself. So I don't work like crazy every day on this. I just do a little bit every day. As I tell my paid clients, you see, look, I've learned a lot and I've seen a lot of different techniques, a lot of different teachings, a lot of methods. And for me, I just basically filtered and I made a list of the most powerful, effective things that worked for me. And I have seen work for a lot of other people. And it's not just me. And then I apply them every day, a little bit every day. One of them is, if you're one of my clients, paid clients, or not, if you just watch my videos, you'll know, is the simple journaling of grateful thoughts. Being grateful. So every morning when you wake up, rather than allowing yourself to lean towards negative or positive, depending on how your mind has been set up, you can take control. And like when you wake up in the morning, have your journal ready by your bedside. Wake up, yes, you're sleepy, but then just open your journal and then write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And that's going to start your day off with a little bit more strength towards stronger thinking, positive thinking. And then before you go to bed, same thing, 3 things that you're grateful for. And I'll tell you, one of the huge benefits of doing this is that once your journal starts to get full of like all these things that you're grateful for, when you decide just to take 2 minutes out to read through your journal, holy crap, it's so empowering just to read through all these amazing positive things. And then that becomes part of your daily practice, just reading through your journal, because you're reading and every line you read is specifically custom tailored for you, of your life, positive thoughts. And it's so empowering. Okay? Then there's another aspect of journaling, okay, that I'm going to come to in a little while. But first, I want to talk about how to stop overthinking, or how to stop thinking of my ex, or help, I can't stop thinking of my ex. So part 1, now you've realized why it's happening. Because you need to process, and that's natural, it's fine. Your mind is trying to learn what it did wrong so that it can help in the future. So there's nothing wrong with the thinking, the overthinking. Allow it to happen. Don't try to resist it. Don't be like, help, why am I thinking so much about my ex? I understand why people will ask that and come, because usually the negative thoughts create negative emotions. Thoughts and emotions are linked. There's a chain between them. When you have a negative thought, it creates sadness, anger, depression, emptiness, loneliness, misery. They're all caused by thoughts. Those bad feelings are all caused by thoughts. So a lot of people out there are very clever and smart and have realized that it's thoughts that's causing me to feel like crap. So how do I think less? But it's not necessarily like about thinking less. Allow yourself to think, because remember, you're kind of going through this massive processing right now, and it could take a year, it could take a month, it could take a week, it could take a long time. You can speed it up tremendously by growing in maturity in the way you think, and realizing that there's no right or wrong, that your ex isn't an evil person that hates you, they're just trying to do their best. There's tons of things that you can do to help yourself through this by growing mentally in wisdom, okay? Accepting, realizing that, hey, there was clearly something wrong, and just letting go, okay? But the problem is we don't want to let go. We feel like, oh, this was my soulmate, and you build this person up by thinking of them as this perfect, amazing person, which most of the time, actually almost all the time, it's not true. And you should be thinking of yourself more in that regard. You're an amazing person. You're awesome. You can achieve anything you want. The same feelings you had for your ex, you can have for someone else, if not more intense, more amazing. These are the types of thoughts that are true, by the way, that you need to be filling your mind with. So it's not about stopping, help, I need to stop thinking of my ex. No, allow that to happen. There's processing that needs to happen. Be aware of those thoughts and guide them, because that could spiral into like really bad thoughts that are so untrue, that are just torturing you and keeping you down. So be aware of what's going on with the processing and guide the processing. When it starts to become dysfunctional and not serving you, that's when you step in and be like, no, it's not important whether my ex misses me or loves me or thinks of me. It's not important. What's important now is what I'm doing and where my focus is at. Okay, so when you develop more maturity in your thinking, it's going to help you guide. But remember, allow this. If you feel like crying, if you feel depressed, if you feel, angry, express those feelings. Let them out. As I was explaining to someone yesterday, it's kind of like you've eaten something really bad and your body is just rejecting it. So whenever, even if you've been on no contact for 2 months, or if you've been in your breakup for 5 or 6 months and you're still having these moments, it's okay. It's natural. It's still parts of the stuff that was in your belly that's being released. And actually, the more progress you make, it's sort of like you are opening your mind more with the more progress you make, and you're opening your heart more. And as you open, of course, there are things that have been buried deep. And the more and more you open, those things are going to become exposed and they're going to come out. They're going to be released. And that can be crying, depressed, being angry, thinking about your ex when you maybe haven't for a month and a half. You've been doing really well, and then all of a sudden, you feel like you've gone back down to day one or relapsing. But no, you've actually made a lot of progress and you're just releasing more and more. Releasing stuff is great. Crying is great. So don't ever feel discouraged about that. Just keep on doing what you're doing, a little bit by a little, every day, conditioning your mind to see the positive, to be grateful, to forgive your ex, yourself, and so on. Okay, so that's the reason why we are overthinking anything. Okay, but it takes intelligence to guide your overthinking process, to help keep it, in check. And the main parameters that you are looking at when you're guiding your overthinking is, does this help me? Does this serve me now or not? And if it's not, you've got to sort of like talk to yourself and say, look, this thought, whether it's true or not, is not helping me right now. I don't need it right now. And then move on, okay? At this point, I want to talk about a very powerful journaling technique. So there's one journal technique, doing your gratefuls, 3 gratefuls in the morning and 3 at night. The second one, I don't get much opportunity to talk about much, because quite frankly, the first one, the grateful one, is so powerful that I have been seeing a lot of results with the people I've been working with based purely on that. And there's some people I've been working with who I have not needed to go into more techniques with. Just the simple doing the gratefuls or a few others have yielded incredible results. Very, very grateful and pleased, with some of my paid clients. One in particular, just was talking to them a couple of days ago, who managed to turn everything around. And I don't want to mention that he got his ex back, but he did. Okay, but that's not important. It's not about that. It's about, but this person did everything just by the book, made the effort, and just regardless of all the crap that was happening, the relapses or feeling like crap, because look, going through this, it's going to be up and down. It's going to be up and down. You're going to have really shitty days. You're going to have really good days. You're going to have shitty days, and it's just going to keep going could be months, yeah? But you've got to be strong. You've got to just focus on training, have faith in the training, and realize that as you do more, as you fill your head with more strength training, mental training, positive outlooking, and you realize that you're pretty much in control of manifesting and creating anything you desire. The more you realize that, then the more you're going to start applying your power. The more you keep your power for yourself, rather than letting it leak on thoughts of your ex, the more you can take control. And this person just, I wrote it down because I wanted to keep what he said. It was just, for me, it was just like, I guess, a little bit of pride. I felt really proud of my student, for doing some hard work. He spent, I think, 3 months, and was just really like doing everything seriously, working very hard. And let me just tell you, here's what he said, yeah? Right towards the end of our conversation. He says, "I still can't believe that I actually got right now what I imagined I wanted my life to be a few months ago. It's funny how things just work out if you just go after them." So true. So, yes. You have to go after it. He's absolutely right. You have to go after it. And it's a choice. It's a choice. Do you want to be happy? Do you want these things? Or do you want to just wallow in your warm, comfortable blanket of misery? It's your choice. And this channel is about putting some important, powerful, simple teachings and techniques out there. And I'm going to be honest, there's some people that aren't ready to do this. There's some people, most people aren't going to be ready because most people enjoy being sad and enjoy being depressed. Or if it's not that they enjoy being sad and depressed, they don't want to be happy. They feel like being happy is going to take too much work and too much effort, which is BS. Do a little every day and then let it happen naturally. It will happen. You will start to change. Not like your personality is going to change. You're going to be you, but you're going to be a more positive, stronger you. Okay? So, help me. I can't stop thinking of my ex. Well, the journaling. So the part 2 powerful journaling tip, which I'm going to end this video on, is you've got your gratefuls in the morning and at night, and now part 2. Part 2 is whenever you have a negative feeling, whenever you feel like crap, lonely, empty, depressed, angry, whatever, this is a time to journal. Go grab your journal because you feel like shit. You feel like shit, go grab your journal. Next step. Realize that what you're feeling is a result of some thoughts. So figure out what are the thoughts that are causing this, and then write them down. Put down negative thought, and then underneath it, write down the negative thought. And the negative thought could be that I was happier with my ex than I am now. Or my life with my ex was better than my life now. Okay, so you write down your negative thought, and then you're going to counter this thought with 3 positive thoughts. Okay, so when you write down your negative thought, counter it with 3 positive thoughts. And this is where you're going to build mental toughness, build mental positivity, and it's going to help you in life. And you want to try to do 5 of these a day. Okay? 3 minimum, but do 5 a day. I can't tell you how powerful this is. The secret is, like the person who I'm telling you, what my client who wrote that, who I mentioned earlier, who's been seeing success now. You have to do it. You have to do it every day. Was I doing it every day? No. I was taking my weekends off. Saturdays and Sundays, that's a rule for me. I work Monday to Friday. I go to the gym Monday to Friday. I do my mental strength training Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday is my work week. It's where I work. But I don't just work on my business. I work on myself. Okay? Because it's part of my business to be healthy, to be strong. So Monday to Friday I work. Saturdays I just relax. I don't do anything. Yeah, I just allow myself to be. the way I am. So I don't stress too much on weekends, but on Mondays and Fridays, I work. And look, is it really hard to do this? No, it's easy, and it's so worth it. So whenever you feel like crap, grab your journal. And the chances are that, if you're going through a difficult phase, you're going to have 30 or 40, you're going to have 100, maybe more negative thoughts in a day. So just capturing 5 is going to be easy for you. And what's interesting about this exercise is that you are going to realize that you're actually not having 100 or 200 different negative thoughts. You're going to realize that you're actually having variations of the same 4 or 5 thoughts. And then when you start to approach and deal with these 4 or 5 thoughts, it's amazing how your life is going to change, because you're going to realize it's just a few things that you're thinking of in different variations, different forms, that are holding you down in life, making you feel really upset. And even if you just tackle 2 or 3 of these thoughts, learn how to tackle them, it can have a huge effect on your life. So when you feel like crap, grab your journal, find out what is the thought that caused this feeling, and then tackle it. I'll get my journal and I'll show you guys. Here's my first journal, okay? And look, on the front I wrote, all I need is within me. All that I experience is from within me. I am all that I need. All right, I even put a few suns and a heart, full, awesome heart. And look, this is my journal. So I put it in tables, self-talk, yeah. So this is, and then I put these are the counter arguments. So you see, this is my journal, and it's full, yeah? It's got some cool drawings in there too, yes. So your journal is going to be this, look, yeah, and it's another one. Like, I'm obsessed with sitting with my legs crossed. Okay, so you got some, let me read a couple to you, okay? So let's go towards the beginning of my, so this was when I was going through some real hard times, and here's one. This is a good one, actually. So my ex is doing so many productive things. This is just a negative thought that created some, made me feel like crap. So I found the negative thought. Okay, cool, got it. The thought is, my ex is doing so many productive things, making the most of her time and making more progress than me. This is a really common negative thought in breakups, is that your ex is going to be happier than you, or whatever. And then I came up with actually 4 arguments, because at this point in my breakup, I realized how powerful this was, and rather than just doing 3 counter arguments, I was doing more. And then let's see, one of them is, it does not matter what my ex has been doing with her time. She is on her journey doing her best. I am creating my own reality in my own way and on my own journey. Number 2, no one comes close to what I am able to create for my life and my journey. My ex can't come close to the passion, the connections, the opportunities that I create for myself. Number 3. So you're seeing a pattern is that don't focus on your ex, focus on you. That's the pattern here, okay? But you have to be like your own lawyer to stand up for yourself and say, objection, Your Honor. You are awesome, not your ex. And this journaling technique is going to develop that in you. And the more and more you do it, what's going to happen is you're going to be riding around, driving around, or you're going to be at work, and you're going to feel like crap, and you're going to be like, you're going to see the thought. And rather than needing your journal, you're going to already have your answers ready for yourself, and it's going to be over in like 2 seconds. Actually, less than that, because thoughts happen in milliseconds. So the negative thought's going to come, you're going to feel like shit, and then you're going to immediately be like, oh no, yeah, I know the answer to this. Yeah. And then boom, on with your day. Done. Dealt with. Processed. Here's my number 3. I accept that my own heart and my own desires will guide me, not what other people do. I have the power to be the greatest version I have ever been. I realize that I am on the greatest quest I have ever been on, and I am knee-deep in this. Okay? So, pay close attention also and learn how important the words you're using are. You want to say things like, I realize, I am, I have this, I know. You want to, that's affirmations. Okay, that's affirming what you are now. You don't want to be saying things like, I will be better in a year, or, like, if you're having a negative thought, be like, it's okay, right now I'm struggling, but in a year I will be better. No, you want to say that, I know, I am, I realize. So anyway, journaling, super powerful, highly recommend it. And so I'm going to wrap this video up with something for my paid clients and for everyone else. Hope I can remember all of these. I will do another video dedicated to what I'm about to do right now, which is give you guys a quick survival list. Because I do sometimes get questions like, of what else can I do, to help. There's tons of things. Journaling. Boom. We've talked about journaling. Super powerful. If you only do journaling, it's going to have huge effects on you. Let's dive into other things. Get rid of things you don't need. Clothes, furniture, stuff. Get rid of them. It will help you learn how to let go, but it will also free up a lot of space in your life and energize you, make you feel better. Even give away things for free. Sell stuff if you want to, whatever. Just get rid of things. Simplify your life. Okay, so create space. Space is energizing. So create space, get rid of the clutter, do some spring cleaning right now. Okay, so that's another one. Number 3, get rid of things that you no longer need. Now acquire a few things that you do need. So when you get rid of all this stuff, all these old clothes that you were wearing or while you were in your relationship, things that you have that you were in your relationship, get rid of them all and now start something new. Buy some new clothes. I did this and it was so powerful. I bought some cool clothes. I went shopping. I bought some shoes. And do this regularly. When your clothes start to get old, and I don't mean just physically old, materialistically old, like getting holes. No, I mean like when the memories attached to those clothes start to get old. You're lingering in a time. And if those memories attached to the clothes and stuff that you have around you are not good or not helping energize you, get rid of them. Throw them away and introduce some new opportunities. New shoes, new shirts, new style of clothing. Get haircuts. Go get yourself some therapy, like massage, even like whatever, mental therapy, but get massages, get spa therapy, treat yourself, okay? Go out into nature. This is another point now. Go out into nature more because it helps connect us. It helps bring space and energy into our life. Be active, exercise. You can go to the beach. You can go for walks. You can go hiking, okay? Music is very powerful. If you have that artistic ability, create some art, create some music, all right? Bring things out from within you. The whole point is to come into your own and not need other things. Like I'm talking to one person, and if you're watching, you know who you are, and I'm going to email you about this. But yes, dating too much while you're trying to heal through a breakup is not going to help you. It's a temporary fix. you're going to feel okay while you're doing it. But as soon as you start to reduce it, you're going to be dealing with the breakup that you haven't dealt with yet, the parts of your breakup that you still haven't dealt with. So I believe deal with your breakup first. It's going to be hard, it's going to suck. And then once you've 80% healed, then you can start dating. And dating not just for sex, no, just you get the feeling back for it, for dating. So I'm going to keep going on with this survival list because it's super good and useful. So music, I was saying, and on the topic of music, if you're watching movies, if you're into movies and watching movies, don't watch stuff that's going to make you cry and feel depressed or think of your ex or think of relationships and all that. Same with music. Don't listen to all this 80s stuff. 80s stuff is like my favorite, But and it's hard because most 80s stuff is all about breakups and relationships. But it doesn't help you right now. So you got to take a break from it. There's some good 80s music. Lionel Richie, I guess. Dancing on the Ceiling. That's a good one. But reduce the stuff that's not serving you in life. That's the whole point of all of this. And increase the stuff that's helping you. Wow, 41-minute video. Never done one this long. So that's a few other things you can do in addition to journaling. Be around positive people. Let go of people that are bringing you down. Put your focus onto things that are going to help uplift you. Even if it's your job, sports, start a new sport. Go out and start jiu-jitsu, everybody. Go do a free jiu-jitsu class. It's amazing. Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Can't recommend it enough. But it can be anything. Do a photography class. Do whatever, yeah? And if you don't like it, don't feel discouraged that, all this is not working. It's just that you maybe don't like photography. Start something new. Eat healthy foods. Eat delicious foods. Treat yourselves to awesome, awesome stuff. Put good things into your body and reduce the amount of bad things. I like to do whatever I want on the weekends. I'm bad on the weekends, and I'm fine with that. But 5 days in the week, I'm doing good stuff. 2 days in the week, I'm just allowing myself to do whatever I want. And I've noticed over the years that my weekends have become a lot more like my weekdays. Just naturally, because I enjoy now what I do during the week. But originally, my weekends would be my cheat days.